Hello and welcome along to round 6 of ETGT League Season 1. We are at Kyoto. We are at the Kyoto Driving Park circuit for the third endurance race of the season. It's going to be a 17-lap race here and first of 2 Japanese races for the season. So let's have a look at the circuit here. So yes, like I said, round 6 of the season, race 9 overall, and it's the Yamagiwa circuit of the Kyoto Driving Park complex. 17 laps around this fast circuit. It's going to be one to watch. So let's have a look at the drivers' points here. Harry Ryan is still our championship leader with 182 points, 40 points ahead of Aidan Halton, who is on equal points with Chris Padajak, and finds himself in second thanks to actually winning a race. Looking further down the order, we've got Peter Dongo, 16 points ahead of Mitchell Collin in 5th and 6th place. There's also a tight battle between Jordan Crane and Solomon. It's only 8 points between them in 7th and 8th. We've got Bazar in 9th, 40 points, and Trent Fuller with 35 points in 10th place. And after a points finish in the last round, Kieran Watts finds himself ahead of Fletcher down there in 14th place. And as we look at the teams and constructors championships here, Team 53 well ahead of Coca-Cola Racing there, 2-car squad against 1 car. There's not much you can do about that, I guess. And Coca-Cola Racing ahead of Hungry Jacks Racing by 40 points. And Hungry Jacks Racing are 9 points ahead of CP Motorsports in 4th position. And thanks to Kieran Watts finishing in the points last round, the Mercedes AMG Petronas find himself in the 11th position ahead of Lexus AVFC Works Racing. Mercedes AMG is still leading the Constructors' Championship, 317 points against Chevrolet's 277, and Ford just ahead of Jaguar for 3rd place. Well, let's go down on the grid and see how the drivers line up for round 6 of ETGT Season 1. We're down here on the grid for round 6 of ETGT Season 1. Let's see how the drivers line up for this event at Kyoto. And Mitchell Collin finds himself in pole position here in the Mustang for the Bundaberg Racing Squad in front of Aidan Halton, Team 53, who is in front of his teammate Peter Dongo in the Corvettes there. In 4th position, and your championship leader, Harry Ryan, in the Mercedes AMG. And in 5th place for Burger King Racing, Chris Padajak. 6th place, and for BWT Racing, Chris Turnbull. 7th place, and what I think is the livery of the season so far, Fezar for Jaguar Racing. 8th position, and the Monster Energy Mustang, Jordan Crane. 9th place, Kieran Watts with the number 44 Mercedes AMG there. 10th place, Trent Fuller in the Mustang Castrol Racing Squad car. And rounding out the grid, Stephen Shadlow in the BWT Rockstar Energy Racing Corvette. So that's how everyone lines up on the grid. Let's go back to the commentary box and catch all the action. "11 drivers have lined up on the grid for this 17-lap race at Kyoto. Round 6 of ETGT Season 1 is go. So who gets a good start off the line? Oh, looks like Peter Dongo there is joining his teammate there. I think he's getting a good start off the line. Mitchell Collin down to 2nd place for pole position. Not the best of starts there for him. Look, he's down to 3rd now. With Captain Muffin in 1st. His teammate in 2nd, Team 53 leading the way so far as we head through the S's of the circuit. Oh, the cars sound great through there. So it's Aidan Halton in 1st, Peter Dongo in 2nd, Mitchell Collin in 3rd position. 4th is Harry Ryan, he's fighting off Chris Padajak there in the Burger King Jaguar car. Oh, both of them side by side as they go through the turn. It's a very fast circuit, this, very free-flowing. As we head to the first big braking zone. Oh, they're still side by side. Oh no, Harry's got it. No, Chris is there. Oh, look, Chris Turnbull is there just behind him as well. Trying to line up a pass. Trying to sense an opportunity here as we come to it. Oh look, Fez is joining in the action too. Oh, it looks like Harry and Turnbull have hit there. Oh, and I think Chris has been pushed wide as well. Oh, he's all the way in 7th position. Oh, look, and Trent in the back as well. Oh, chaos on the first lap here. It's an endurance race, guys, settle down. But Chris finds himself in 8th behind Stephen Shadlow and Chris Turnbull there in 6th. Gaining 1 position, and Harry Ryan there in 5th place. Oh, Fezza Solomon up to 4th position for Jaguar. They finished lap 1. Now some of the drivers will be starting on different tyre compounds. Let's have a look here. Just very quickly. So Fezzer on the softs. And that beautiful livery there in the Jaguar. Golf livery. Harry Ryan just behind him. He's got some positions to make up there. And Mitchell Collins sitting in 3rd after starting on pole. He's still keeping with the leaders though. And Peter Dongo there starting on the softs as well. Just behind his teammate, who's also on the softs. So Team 53 leading at this stage. With Aidan Holden, Peter Dongo, Mitchell Collins. Yeah, he is obviously fast here. He has pole position. It's on the soft tyres. We'll see what he can do in the rest of the race. And Solomon's still in 4th place in front of Harry Ryan. Let's see how long he can keep this up for. What tyres is Harry on here? So Harry is also on the softs. It's right on board of Harry. Oh, he's lining up a pass on the Jaguar driver. This isn't the best place to overtake though, so he's probably just going to have to sit behind him for now. Short shifting through the gears a bit. Oh, he's got a good exit though, he's a lot closer this time. We'll see how it goes into turn 1. The championship leader in 5th position at the moment. Now it's a long race, so I guess he's not going to take too many risks if he doesn't have to. Oh, he slices down the inside though. And he gets the pass done. Good spot to do it there. Let's get down the grid. Chris Turnbull there in 6th place in the Corvette for BWT Rockstar Energy Racing. It was going well at the last race in the Laguna Seca before he binned it. Or something happened. I remember something happened in the last race, but I forgot what. But he was running as high as 5th. Or was he going skiing a bit there on the curbs. Trying to catch Fezzer there. He was in 5th place. Just behind there, Chris Patterjack after, well, being involved in a bit of traffic and bit of midfield battle there in the first lap. Finds himself in 7th place. He is on the soft tyres. Everyone so far starting on softs, it looks like. Oh, no, Chris Turnbull there on the mediums. He's in a good spot there for the mediums. Oh, he's hit the curbs there. That's a fast turn. But he survives at the moment. So the Burger King sponsorship staying on the Jaguar of Sicko Motorsport for this and the next round in Japan, as Burger King is in Japan. Makes sense. So we're here at Kyoto. It's a beautiful location here. There are 2 tracks with 3 different layouts that can be raced here. More if you include the reverse layouts. But we're here in the Yamagiwa circuit configuration. As we go on to lap 4 here. So going down the grid, Jordan Crane in 8th position. It's the first time we've seen him and spoke about him all race. Finds himself just ahead of Stephen Shadlow. And the grid's sort of, as we can see on the map there, some groups and gaps forming down the grid, and it's only lap 4. So there's a bit of a group here, obviously, with Stephen Shadlow and Kieran Watts. Oh, is Kieran Watts going to get a pass done here? Looks like he is. Steve Shadlow on the medium tyres. What's Kieran on? Oh, he's on the softs, no wonder. Mercedes is a bit more grip. And the hazards there for Stephen Shadlow for some reason. Probably distracting. Trying to distract Kieran there. Oh, and he's found himself on the grass for whatever reason. Lewis Hamilton has. With the number 44 car. And all the way in 11th for some reason is Trent Fuller. Oh yes, so on lap 1 we saw him in the background cutting the grass. Something must have happened there with one of the drivers during the fast left-hander. Don't know what turn number that is exactly. Let's count it. 1, 2, 3, like turn 6 or so. And oh, there goes Trent Fuller on the grass again. So his tyres are definitely crying out at the moment. Wonder if he'll pit soon and just put on the hards, and then just try to survive to the end of the race. As he completes lap 4, he's trying to catch up to the pack. Let's go to the front of the pack. Now Captain Muffin here, of Aidan Halton, the Captain Muffin, Aidan Halton, for the Malibu Sheep Medal Team 53 entry, first position. D53 in Team 53, Peter Dongo, for a complete angler, in second place, just ahead of Mitchell, who was in pole position, and finds himself chasing down Peter Dongo. So all these guys are on soft tyres, trying to get the most out of them at the start of the race. Now you have to pit for mediums at some point, or you have to use the mediums, I should say, at some point. And well, the mediums don't last the whole length, so most people pit for softs. Some smooth driving there, but he's keeping up. Wonder if Captain Muffin is just sort of taking it easy. Oh, you can see his tyres, they're certainly getting used. As we start lap 6 of 17. This is the third endurance round of the season. And actually the last endurance round, because Bathurst will be a flagship event which is longer than what these endurance races are. So it's 17 laps, 80 kilometres. You have to use the medium tyres, and you will end up pitting, so that's the way it goes. That's a beautiful shot there through the fast sector 1 of the circuit there. It's beautiful. Through the forest section. Well, I guess the whole track is surrounded by forest. Good backdrop and scenery for round 6 of season 1 of ETGT. So Harry Ryan, he's about 5 seconds behind Mitchell Collin, our championship leader. He's in 4th position. Not the best position to be in, but at least it's not as bad as Chris Badajak, who we think Harry Ryan actually did shove off the track. Although he had a coming together with Chris Turnbull on the way to the corner we're coming up to now. And yeah, he got a bit out of balance and whoop, just lost it there. The Rubbins racing, that's what they say. Coca-Cola entry looking to move up the field, hopefully, during the rest of this race. Now Fezar in 5th position. Solomon finding himself ahead of the other Jaguar driver, Chris Badajak, who's trying to move up the field after that incident in lap 1. So Fezar on the softs, normal tyre wear. Does it look like he's going to make a pit stop? No, he's going to stay out for a bit longer. There's some solid points for Solomon if he finishes 5th place. And in front of the other Jaguar, as we said, Chris Badajak. In the Hungry Jack's entry, branded as Burger King. So we'll go down the field again, and Jordan Crane here finds himself battling no one, as pit stops have, we got the first pit stop, so Chris Turnbull is in the pits to get rid of his mediums, and he's got some damage in the back there. Not really too much of a concern though. So we'll see what tyres he puts on after this, and Kieran Watts is also pitted. He had the softs. He's obviously going to put on the mediums, I guess. It's waiting a long time for the fuel. See, the fuel is obviously the longest part of these stops. People do fuel save during the races, but it still takes a while to get in the juice. And we're out, and he's on the softs. So he's going to have to do 10 laps on the softs, is Chris Turnbull. Seems like a bit much, but unless he's going to plan to pit again. Kieran Watts has found himself in front, Chris Turnbull there. So they bring up the rear behind Trent Fuller there, who's look at his front right tyre. All the leaders are pitting. We'll cut to the all the leaders are pitting. So the top 3 making their stops here. Mitchell Collin, Peter Dongo for Team 53, and Harry Ryan and Captain Muffin. So the top 4 are all pitting at the moment. There's our leader, Captain Muffin, taking in fuel, changing tyres. Same for Mitchell Collin there, Thunderbird Racing. And the other Team 53 car, Peter Dongo, is also in the pits. Oh, look at that. So Chris Padajak is also in the pits too. Jaguar racing driver. Getting tyres, getting fuel. And Harry Ryan also. The Coca-Cola entry. Getting rid of those softs and probably putting mediums on. Stephen Shadlow is also in the pits. So most of the field has now pitted. So we'll see what tyres Harry Ryan has put on. And yes, he's put on the mediums. So that'll be him for the rest of the race. As will everyone else, I guess, that's in front. So here's Captain Muffin, technically your leader of the race. Overall, when everyone does their stops, and he's just ahead of his teammate. These two pretty much dominating here at Kyoto, as it stands. As we're almost halfway through the race. Let's go to your leader though, Fezza Solomon. Finds himself leading in ETGT. Now will he pit this lap? Or will he go for glory and stay out in first position? He's keeping it clean. His tyre wear's still not bad, although his fuel, on the other hand, yeah, it looks like his fuel is not going to make it. So I think he's going to pit and get some juice and some fresh rubber. And yes, he's coming into the pits. Jaguar Racing Squad waiting for Solomon. Oh, look at that, he had 1% of a tank left. He was on fumes, wasn't he? As they get the tyre change done like clockwork. And Jordan Crane is also in the pits for the Monster Energy Mustang car. Bit of scruffy bodywork damage in the front there. That's all good. And the leaders go through. So Captain Muffin ahead of Peter Dongo, ahead of Mitchell Collin. There's actually a bit of a gap there. I think the fuel saving that Team 53 have employed and have put to good effect this season has paid off here, because that is a good gap there. Yeah, they put in less fuel, they have less time in the pits to sit there, and yeah, unlike Mitchell Collin, who I guess sat there a bit longer in the pits. But he can still catch up, he's not that far behind. He's in a good third position here. In fourth place, Harry Ryan, who's about the same distance away from Mitchell Collin as Mitchell is from Peter Dongo, about 5 seconds. And Chris Padajak there's similar gap again, probably a little bit bigger, actually maybe twice as big, closer to 10 seconds behind Harry Ryan. And everyone's done their pit stops. Fezza is in 6th place. And Chris Turnbull in 7th place. He was the first to pit and pull the trigger on the soft tyres, the faster tyre as well now. So he's going to have to look after those for the rest of the race. But still a decent strategy though. He's about 3 seconds ahead of Jordan Crane, who finds himself on newer softs. So he'll still have to make those last as well. It'll be an interesting battle between those two actually. So we'll see how that pans out. As actually Chris Turnbull is catching up to Fezza a little bit. Fezza on the mediums and the slower tyre, but he'll have no problem lasting the race, especially with the fuel too. So Chris Turnbull here is already on half a tank. He'll probably have to do some fuel saving towards the later part of the race. So 7th is probably the best he can hope for, ahead of Jordan Crane. And then Stephen Shadlow still battling Kieran Watts. These guys, as they come up to lap 10, so Kieran on the medium, slower tyre, is keeping pace actually with Stephen Shadlow. The number 14 Rockstar Super Sours entry there. Everyone likes a pink car, it does look good. Then Lewis Hamilton, Kieran Watts, the number 44 Mercedes Petronas AMG entry in 10th place and the last points paying position. And we find Trent Fuller about 10 seconds behind in 11th, doing his thing. He's on the mediums. He'll last the rest of the race on that. Just look after his fuel, and I guess if one of the two cars in front of him spin out, something happens, maybe he can capitalise. Oh, it's a beautiful looking car though, the Castrol Racing entry. Single car squad for Trent Fuller, making his, well, everyone's making their their debut for ETGT this season. He's been scoring good points actually. That's the key. As long as you finish and score points, they will accumulate through the season. And Trent has been doing that pretty consistently, but today he does find himself out of the points. Just one of those circuits. Maybe something happened during the race. That's right, he was cutting grass. Kieran Watts coming through the back section of the circuit. Looks like there's a bit of a gap to Stephen Shadlow now. Stephen probably using those soft tyres to good effect. He can chase down Jordan Crane, who's trying to chase down Chris Turnbull. Like we said before, this battle here is probably going to be the most interesting one as the race goes on, because looking at the rest of the track map, there aren't really any close battles going on. So Chris Turnbull, who I guess is catching up to Fezzer. But Fezzer's got this in control. Money's on him, finishing in 6th. Just behind the other Jaguar car, in 5th. Chris Padajak, who doesn't look like he's really catching up to Harry Ryan. Doesn't really have the speed. So even though he had the off on lap 1, I lost him quite a bunch of time. Doesn't seem to be really catching up here. The number 90, just in no man's land by himself, in 5th. Even worse than 4th. You know, I think in Laguna Seca, Chris Padajak finished 4th in both races, so just out of the podium. But he finds himself in 5th position here. This is in complete contrast to the first half of the season where Chris Padajak finished on the podium in every race in rounds 1 to 4. And so far, at Laguna Seca he wasn't on the podium, and right now he's not on the podium either. So Harry Ryan, your championship leader, similar story. He doesn't look like he's catching up to Mitchell either. Hasn't really got the pace. Maybe he's settled. Hard to say. So Harry Ryan did win last time in Laguna Seca. He won race 1. Definitely needed that to keep his championship gap at a comfortable level. Because Aiden Halton is definitely catching up as the season goes on. Oh, and Harry's hit the curb there. It's got a bit, had a bit of an adventure. So I guess if you do that every now and then, you're not really going to catch up. And Mitchell Collin here is, same deal. He's not really catching up either. He's keeping within distance. He can see Team 53 ahead of him. Can the Mustang driver, but doesn't really seem to be catching up. As we head to lap 13, there's 5 laps to go. And Team 53 find themselves in the lead with Aiden Halton in 1st, heading into turn 1 in front of Peter Dongo, who's now heading into turn 1. It's a pretty stock standard race for these two, I guess. Peter had the good start at the start there, managed to find himself ahead of Mitchell Collin, and he's just kept it there ever since. Now it looks like his teammate's creating a bit of a gap to him, but second place is good for the Team 53 free driver. Well, he hasn't won a race since Dragon Trail. Does find himself in a good position at the moment, as does Mitchell Collin overall, although he did start in pole position and he has shown good promise this round and good pace. Hasn't quite put it all together, but still a podium is a podium, and it's a good points haul for the Bundaberg Racing Squad and for Ford. Mitchell's basically the elite Ford driver in terms of points. And he gets himself the bonus point for pole position too. So Harry Ryan in 4th place. Is there someone in the pits? Yes, someone has pitted. And Chris Turnbull has pitted again. Well, there you go. So he wasn't going to make the rest of the race with the fuel or the tyres. And look how far behind he is from everyone else. So that wasn't really smart, eh? Should have made the first stint a bit longer, it looks like. And Trent Fuller ahead of him. Well, maybe he won't even finish ahead of Trent Fuller. That'll still be an interesting one to look at. So Kieran Watts finds himself in 11th and out of the points. Maybe he had to pit as well, as we're talking about the leaders. So Fez are still in 6th place, ahead of Jordan Crane, and his tyres are starting to go, but he should be okay for the rest of the race. Unless he's going to pit now, is he? No. Sometimes it looks like the driver's going to pit, but it's just the line that they take down the main straight. And Stephen Shadlow in 8th. He's gained a place or 2 with everyone else pitting, but no, he's pitting now. So he's on softs, and his softs haven't lasted, and he's pretty marginal fuel too. So both the BWT cars have now pitted for the second time, trying to employ a 2-stop strategy here. It's not really the way to go in these endurance races, but well, that's what the drivers have chosen to do. So Trent Fuller, after being out of the points for most of the race, finds himself up to 8th position on the right tyres with enough fuel. I think he's made this work. Trent's made this work. He's played the long game, smart game. And BWT, I think, have been caught out in strategy error or something here. As Stephen Scheller is about to get lapped by Aiden Halden he'll be on lap 15 now. Yes. So Chris Turnbull, he finds himself in 9th and getting lapped after he was potentially fighting for 8th it was. So we'll see if Trent Fuller can keep 8th in the next few laps. But Jordan Crane 7th, he's really by himself there. He's well behind Fezzer and he's well in front of Trent. So unless he wants to pit too. But his tyres should be okay, as will Fezzer's. So he's got plenty of grip there. Starts like 15, so 3 laps to go. All good for him there. And we can see the gaps there of everyone as we go off the grid. Yeah, this is how everyone's going to finish, it looks like. So we'll go back to Trent Fuller here. We'll see if he can keep Chris Turnbull behind him, who is catching up, is he? Yes, he is. Well, Chris Turnbull is catching up. So he's probably going to line up and pass on this lap here. We're right on board with the BWT Rockstar car. Yeah, this is where the battle is. Oh, someone's gone off. Oh, Stephen Shallow's gone off. Okay, so he's let Aiden Halden through. He's got a few other leaders to let through as well. So right back with his teammate, Chris Turnbull, chasing down Trent Fuller, he's going very slowly now. Here's the pressure getting to the Mustang driver. Yeah, see the extra grip on the softs through the S's, and the Chevrolet is catching up fast. Oh, he's going to pull a move on the left-hand side there. Oh, they hit. They touch. But Chris Turnbull gets the pass done. So back to 8th position there. I see he's well behind Jordan Crane, who, I don't know, with 2 laps to go, I think he's going to keep that position. Don't know what else to really look at here with this race. See Fezzer in 6th and Chris Padjack in 5th. Harry Ryan in 4th. That gap's stayed pretty consistent. So's the gap with Richard Collin. And then Peter Bongo, who's still just behind Captain Muffin. And these guys are busy with traffic, so that's why it looks busy on the road here, but these guys aren't really fighting for positions. So you got Steve Shadlow here. He's just behind Aiden Halden still. But he's kind of too ahead of Stephen Shadlow for the blue flags to be able. Oh, Aiden Halden's gone off. Aiden Halden went off. We caught that on camera, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and geez. Dirty tyres. The marbles on the road. Bit of adventure there. Oh no, he's flashing his lights there at the at the Corvette. Maybe he's not happy with the blue flag situation as he starts the final lap. Let's talk about Aiden Halden here for a bit in Team 53. They've absolutely dominated this race. There's not really much else to say. He's actually dominated every race that he's joined in so far. I guess he plans to really take the championship and and run. And Team 53 well on their way to winning the Teams Championship too. And this is good for Chevrolet for their constructors' hopes as well, I guess. So we saw Peter Dongo finishing second, bringing Team 53 almost the maximum points for the round. They just miss out in the pole position. But Peter Dongo finished second. I don't know what number podium it is for him, but it's at least a good handful, I think. And Mitchell Collin in third. Hasn't won a race yet, but he has had some pole positions, and he's done well to finish third. Not too far behind Peter Dongo, but at least it's on the podium, and some good points for the Mustangs and the Bundaberg Racing Squad. So Harry Ryan did end up trying to catch up at the end there. Did close the gap to Mitchell, who probably went a bit slower too. Championship leader finds himself in fourth. Not great, but not terrible. And Chris Padajak there in fifth. Well, his fuel, look at his fuel. He's just about to make this on fumes, I think, actually. Just ahead of Solomon. He's sensing an opportunity here, I think. So he's not that bad at fuel compared. Oh, this is going to be tight. Oh, this is going to be tight. So Captain Muffin's taken the victory. Ahead of Peter Dongo there. Both of them look to have a finishing in formation. What happens here though? Does Mr. Sade finish ahead of Feza? Is it going to run out of fuel? Oh, we're concentrating on this, that we didn't see the leaders cross the line, but oh, yes, he is. He's just going to cross the line in front of Solomon. The two Jaguar drivers coming home. 5th and 6th place. And Jordan Crane, even with the horrible tyre wear, easily finds himself ahead of Chris Turnbull, who will finish in 8th position. Ahead of Stephen Shadlow, his teammate in 9th. And well, they all overtake Trent Fuller, but at least he finishes in the points still. And Kieran Watts, oh, what's happened to Kieran Watts? Oh, it looks like he DNF'd during the last handful of laps. That's unfortunate there. Oh, and Trent's he's gone off, he's gone wide. We were supposed to catch him in camera there, but no, as we see. He's got some damage there. The last couple of corners. Oh, what's happened ahead of us? Oh, look at that.
And there we go. After 17 laps, Team 53 absolutely dominates that race with what looks like a formation finish. We didn't catch that in the cameras, unfortunately, because there was a bit of action going on down there at the end between Chris and Feza. But anyway, Mitchell Collin gets third position and rounds out the podium there. Harry Ryan finishes in fourth. And yes, Mr. Sade and Feza having their battle there with both of them on fumes, the Jaguars. And Jordan Crane was the only other one to finish on the lead lap there, or within the allocated end time of the race, in 7th position. And just a quick look at the race notes. Mitchell Collin gets his point from pole position. Aidan Halton with the fastest lap there, and everyone's scoring double points because of the endurance round. Kieran Watts did not finish because unfortunately on lap 13 his car retired from the race. So let's have a look at the points table after that round, and well, look at that, Aidan Halton's really chipping away there at Harry Ryan. He's almost caught right up to him there. Battle between first and second heating up. Chris Padajak still in third place with 162 points ahead of Peter Dongo, and Mitchell Collin, who scored some decent points there, finds himself moving up to 5th place ahead of Michael Papa. And in 7th and 8th place, Solomon and Jordan Crane on equal points. That's a really tight battle there between the Fords and the Jaguars. Let's take a quick look at the team's standings here, and well, Team 53 are pulling well ahead there at Coca-Cola Racing. There's almost a 150 point gap there. And in third place, still Hungry Jacks Racing, ahead of CP Motorsports, who are tied with Collin Racing Team for 4th and 5th positions there. And Monster Energy Racing and Jaguar Racing obviously find themselves on equal points for 6th and 7th place there. And in the constructors' standings, Chevrolet ahead now of Mercedes AMG. They have pulled ahead. And Ford staying in third ahead of Jaguar. Well, that wraps it up for round 6 of ETGT Season 1. We'll be back at the next round of High Speed Ring for round 7, the last sprint race of the season. That one's surely going to be exciting. We'll catch you guys there as the championship is slowly reaching its conclusion. 8 rounds, 2 to go.